Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I'm here today with another flip through of a Curiosa journal. This is You're Not Dreaming. This is another of my series, journal in my series of Curiosa that are made inside this law library set of books that I got. This one is from 1947. It also says Ontario Reports on the spine, like the others. And here I have tied on a woodcut of this fun pink ticket with this little, I think it might be a cicada flying on there. This is a woodcut created by an Etsy shop called Pork Chop Show. His name is Scotty. He does all sorts of fun, different kinds of woodcuts that you can use in your projects. So all of these books are unique. There's a few little things that overlap here and there, but truly they are all very much unique. They are packed with ephemera. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 signatures, and this book is 6 1/4 wide by 9. Or was it 6 1/2 wide by 9 1/4 long? Sorry. And this is about a 2.75, so 2 3/4 inch spine. I forgot my notes upstairs, so I'm just having to think a little bit about all of this. So all of these books have sculptural collage fronts, which is like my favorite thing to do with books. So it all starts with an authentic vintage cabinet card. This is from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and it has this gentleman here. This is one of my rusty details. I created a faux rust bunch of these fun little bits that I created in a video in the past. If you saw them, they were these little fun little bits. This is an authentic silver fork. It is a pickle fork, and I got it at an antique store in Maryland. And this is an authentic dental mold of braces. Basically, I got it from a medical auction. I go to weird places. So these are brads that have connected it to the book, so it's not going to come off. A little domino that I drilled through and connected to the book, and this is a little chipboard from Tim Holtz about paper fasteners. The closure on this book is via these gold eyelets, and I've added gold seam binding. That's this fun kind of scruffy seam binding. I really like it on this book. And we can probably hop into it now. I try not to take too long with my intros, because I know some intros can get really long about like telling the story of a book. Essentially the theme of these books, if this is your first video that you've seen of this series, is a curiosity cabinet. Collecting, think of these like library pockets and those big library cabinets, magpie. So all of the books, the way that they, when you open them, it's kind of the same feel, in that I've used Tim Holtz paper for the end paper background and an authentic cabinet card or antique photograph. In this case, it's a photograph of this woman who's very decorated. I don't know her story, but she's lovely. And in each of those front pockets, there is a vintage document. This one is a 1935 Muller Brothers invoice. For a door handle and some different car related things. So that just tucks in here. Then we are on to the first page, which is done on a Cabinet of Curiosities Albertus Siva illustration page. He was essentially an artist and a writer who did one of those books about all of the things on the planet. And this is a little collage here with these kind of flying creatures that says the town was burdened. These pockets I made from a metallic paper, which I embossed with this fun kind of machine feeling embossing folder. This one says warning, and that one says toxic. Inside here is this little journal card. This is an image from Banana Fana Design on Etsy. And in this one, we have a little 1961 authentic photograph of a little boy on this tiny little horse or reindeer that he's riding. And then this little skeletal bird. I had to think about what I was trying to say there. Sorry about that. And then another of these pockets. You'll see these throughout all of the books because it's kind of like an ongoing theme. And this says, Right os inimatum, and that's from a Grey's Anatomy book that I coffee stained. And there's some lovely birds. And this is a little journal card of some old art. Then we have one of my carbonized rusty papers. This is a giant oak leaf. This is from a book called Past Objects. It's about archaeological digs and the kind of cool things that this one particular man found, and he documented them in a book. More of them here, and then this is a side pocket done in that same style, and here are a bunch of his strange collections. It's a journal card there that just tucks in that little side tuck pocket. This is a whiteboard page, so if you have thoughts or things that you want to write down, you want to just have them there for a little while and get rid of them, or maybe you're working on something, you need to take a quick note but you don't want to keep it, this is your forever blank slate. Then we have more of the Cabinet of Curiosities book with these beautiful puffer fish and a little collage of this circle of, I'm not exactly sure what, it came out of like a Myth and Magic magazine from the 70s. Then this was a book spine for a book called Shake Down the Stars, and I really liked that. This is some Tim Holtz scrapbook paper, and this is a cool surrealist photograph of like this cloud floating in a beautiful room, just raining on a black floor with these very ornate chandeliers and beautiful walls. And that is a journal card. And just some beautiful paper. I did some stenciling here. This is from my Bejeweled Ornate Eyes collection. It's a digital on Etsy, my shop. And then this is more stenciling. Here we have this little pocket of these curious folks. I think this is from Gold Quixote on Etsy from her Curiosa collection. And this is a little collage tag that I made. It says, "So astonished by this adventure." This is some Tim Holtz paper and some Curiosity cabinet book. And then this is a shaker card that I made from a glove box, like a box for gloves, and this is an image from this same book of this fun anteater, and then this is from the Garden of Delights, and so it's a nice big journal card that hangs out there on a rusty paper clip. Over here we have this pocket with this, I believe, cheetah, and a little word snippet, Thursday, May 3rd. The fact that something is beyond your vision doesn't mean it isn't there. And then some nice surrealism, this journal card of this cool art. And another of those whiteboard pages. Then we have this little pocket here with this moth. It says since 1842. And this is more of those archaeological dig objects. These are all platters. And this is an authentic 1935 invoice from the Guelph Daily Mercury Limited. Then we have this kind of surreal space girl image that's a little tuck spot for this, which is a funerary trade card. So this is for people who used to work in like mortuary sales. They would sell these little funeral cards and everything from that to like headstones, and it has a little cross here, some nice metallic printing ink, and it says "Thy will be done," and it opens up for writing inside. And that just tucks in here. Another of my carbonized rusty leaf papers of the oak leaf. This says external surface, and it's another one of those pockets, and more kind of Cabinet of Curiosities in a little journal card. And here we have some nests from the Cabinet of Curiosities book. And then a spider and some other little insects. This is one of my images. I've made like a belly band with it on top of a Curiosa page. Then this is a little plastic pill, those little pill boxes. I turned it into a journal card and I added inking and paint and this little butterfly below. And then this is a journal card of this strange creature here out on this strange wood. And that is from Banana Fana Design on Etsy as well. So that just tucks in there. Then we have this little book with a girl looking through it, and some more of the Cabinet of Curiosities. These are some corals, and then a Japanese maple leaf that has been carbonized on rusty paper. Some of this fun waffle packaging paper. This is a belly band that I collaged from a vintage postcard, and some fun botanical paper on this Cabinet of Curiosities page, and this is just this black moth on a journal card. Another moth here, and it's like a wraparound belly band, and this is a really funny image from Banana Fan Designs, from her Strangeness, what's it called, Strangeness Collection 1, I think, of this. It looks like a blow-up doll, like with hot dogs. So funny enough, one of my viewers mentioned to me that another term for Curiosa, which I did include in my intro here, is about like Curiosa also meaning erotic. And I was talking about how I have this whole collection of like 1950s to 80s Playboy magazines that I got from Free Cycle in a very strange accidental situation, but that's a story for another day. So then we have an 1800s AP Gold legal ledger. So this is a real ledger with real writing, really fun. This was out of a vintage medical book, and it's sort of like it was basically they were trying to use a computer to record thought. It was this really strange, kind of scenario. Early medicine, which I think is another fascinating kind of alchemy of like, the idea of Curiosa. So this is a collaged page back here, and then this is kind of a guy doing alchemy, speaking of which, and that's a journal tag that just pops up into this pocket. And in here we have a nice old bit of black work art. It's very surreal and lots of things going on, lots of details. And then this is a library pocket with this wolf man here, and we have this library card inside with this bird. And then there's more collaging back here. And then this is just kind of a fun journal card that I made from the Past Objects book of some of the rusty bits and bottles that man collected. More of the AP Gold ledger, more Cabinet of Curiosity pages. These little critters, they're very spooky, and I forget where I got them. They're digital. I don't recall where they come from. And then this is another of those shaker cards of the animal and the Garden of Earthly Delights. I included them both in this book. Then this is some waffle packaging paper again, and my carbonized Japanese maple leaf. This is a vellum, piece of vellum with a spider on it, and it flips up, and then it has these corals back here, and then this little image from Gold Quixote of these spooky girls, and then this is stationery, sort of like travel, like globe themed. And here are a couple fun pages from the Cabinet of Curiosities. And then one of the things that you will see throughout these books is this particular Cabinet of Curiosities. Now, none of them are the same in that they're all filled with different things. They close with metal eyelets, and this one I have used my own hand-dyed bamboo yarn to close it because it stays nice and sleek and it's easy to tie and untie. It doesn't tangle. So we have a Plague Doctor mask down here, and then I've made these shelves. So it's full of all sorts of little things like stickers and little cutouts that you could use for journal cards. So like you could leave them all in here, or you could, use them throughout the book. They're just fun little curiosities. I felt like that was a nice ad for these books, to just have a little Cabinet of Curiosities. Then more of the AP Gold ledger. Another thing you'll see throughout this series of books are these boiled book pages. They're from an Antique Dolls book, and I painted over the text in gray, and I bound them on this fun embroidered fabric just for something a little different, some nice texture. And I love how the plants marked up the dolls and made them look even more spooky and ethereal. More of the Cabinet of Curiosity paper. This is another vellum sheet. This one has a spider on it and lots of text. And then under here we have a little paper bag pocket with this creepy girl and some music that says "One in Mind, Peace, Safety." And then this is a journal card made from the Cabinet of Curiosities. That flips back down, and we have some more carbonized leaves on rusty paper. This is a piece from Tim Holtz. It's a physician and surgeon, almost like a prescription. and it's on this fun blackwork art book paper. And this is just from an old book. It says Whitman Publishing Company, Racine, Wisconsin. Is that how you say that? And it's just something you could write on, just a fun old piece of paper. And then more of that fun blackwork. And this actually flips up because it's a really awesome, like, surrealist art image that I wanted to include in this book. So the whole thing just, it pops right up, and then you can just bring it right back down again. The paper has been essentially trained to go back down into this fold quite easily. And the more that you do it, the easier it will get. But that wasn't hard, right? We're okay. And then on this side, we have this mushroom pocket. And in here, we have a vintage postcard that I modified with this little squirrel wearing a dress and some Mary Janes. And it is written on back. It's from 1975, and it was sent from Quebec, Ontario. We have this little unicorn and a skull with a stick of dynamite. And this is on some of my rusty carbonized paper. This is a vellum pocket with this image. This is from Tim Holtz. And this is a journal card of some old medical ephemera from a medieval medical book. And then this is more of the Cabinet of Curiosities. It's all crabs. And then more of those crabs and more of the doll boiled book. AP Gold Ledger. More of Cabinet of Curiosities, and then a large journal card of different kinds of terns, I believe, Arctic tern. And then we have a little text this bottle, and also this poem here, this verse. They work with herbs and penicillin. They work with gentleness and the scalpel. They dig out the cancer, close an incision, and say a prayer to the poverty of the skin. They are not gods, though they would like to be. They are only a human trying to fix up a human. Many humans die. They die like the tender, palpitating berries in November. So that came from a vintage book about early medicine, the first doctors. This is a collaged journal card that I made. Lots of stuff going on there. It's lots of fun. This is an envelope. This is an image, I believe, from Gold Quixote on Etsy. And we have this tag here of this girl with this cat on her head, kind of a surreal journal tag. And then in here we have an authentic cabinet card photograph. This is Preacher in Newburgh and his wife, I guess. So that just tucks in the pocket. And this is a Japanese maple carbonized leaf page. And this is a little physician surgeon label from Tim Holtz on a background page of spooky folks from Gold Quixote on Etsy. And this is a little Cabinet of Curiosities tag. An inked and stained page and more of the Cabinet of Curiosities and some collaging. Lizards or iguanas. Then this guy who's just a curious guy. Then we have a piece of cabbage dyed paper with this little spooky house and another spooky image from Gold Quixote back there. A rusty paper clip holding onto that. More of my rusty carbonized leaves. And then this side of the envelope I cut at the top and added this journal tag. It says, "It was as dark can be." And so that just pops up here. And more of the Cabinet of Curiosities. This is an image from Miles Beyond the Moon on Etsy, and it's on a Tim Holtz paper. And this is all from Miles Beyond the Moon. Well, most of it, not all of it. Not this and not that, but this background and these characters are. It's a journal card. This is like a glass bottle sticker with another of the Miles Beyond the Moon folks inside there. This little girl. This is a label I made that says "Deep in the Water." And then on this side we have a mushroom and a couple things in here. So this is a sticker that is a painting that was done by my friend Emily Ippolani. She's a really cool artist. And then we have this journal tag, kind of a surreal, interesting journal tag. More of the Cabinet of Curiosities and the doll boiled book. Then we have a little pocket here with this big tag inside of these little kind of witch babies, and I did some fun collaging here with this and added these gold bits, and it's just a big fun tag. Then over here we have a cabinet of curiosities that's like a pocket on this fun scrapbook paper that holds on to this mushroom stationery. That's from my magical mycology kit on Etsy. And then some bats in little dresses here from Gold Quixote. And then this is from the Cabinet of Curiosities and Oddities scrapbook collection. I had a couple of pages of this left and wanted to put it in this book. The back of the paper is all really fun inking. And this is more scrapbook paper with this big bird pocket and more of that fun stationery inside. This is a mushroom pocket from my magical mycology kit that I cut out freeform style and added this from an old book. It says Forest Kings That Withstand the Ages. It's on Curiosa paper, and I created this. This was from an art image in a book, and I added this balloon here. Then we have this collaged pocket down here, and then this says miscellaneous. That cabinet card on the background is from Miles Beyond the Moon, and the girl here is cut from a book. This is more boiled book dolls and more of the Cabinet of Curiosities. An Ernst Haeckel sticker and a moth here on this. This is an old insurance envelope. And then a collage tag. It says, "Old coat pockets surprise us with interesting finds." And this crow is from Miles Beyond the Moon, from her crow kit. Tim Holtz paper. This is just one of the fun back pages from the antiquarian sticker book. I wanted to use them for something, and I thought it would make a fun journal card. Then we have some 49 and Market paper, and another of those balloons here. Inside each of these journals, you will find one of these pages, which is a sample page that has little plants that I have stitched into these plastics. These are coin collector plastics, and these are all plants that are either native or common in North America, and they're stitched close so nothing can escape from these sample pages. More of my carbonized leaf paper, some vellum graph paper, more of the Cabinet of Curiosities, these really fun insects. And this is like a little kind of curtain from Tim Holtz on a really weird book page from a photography book. And then we have this owl journal card, and that just tucks up inside that curtain like that. More of the photography book of all these bizarre drawings and toys. And I added this little character from Miles Beyond the Moon there. And more of the Cabinet of Curiosities paper. Then we have a vintage invoice here from Moss Garage from 1935. This is from a vintage board game called Scan, and I just love these eyes. I think they're so strange. And we have a little botanical journal card on this. This is like an anatomical fish image from the Cabinet of Curiosities. And more of that strange room from the sketchbook. This is a cork pocket with a fun paper label. It has another tag of the Cabinet of Curiosities and a fun drawing behind it. More of the Cabinet of Curiosities here. And this says vintage, and it's on that vellum and weird on that vellum graph paper. Another carbonized rusty page, and another of my sample pages has violets and bleeding hearts and little helicopters, maple seeds rather. And then we have these a few little gilding kintsugi and collage on this moth page from 49 and Market. And I kept the back very simple. I just added my my stamp here. It's a wax seal with some threads under it. So that is the end of You're Not Dreaming. I will be posting on social media when these are ready to go up in my shop. You can follow me on Etsy to see when they're listed. They do go to my Patreon first, and then the rest of them will go into my Etsy shop. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. I would love to have you here. And I will talk to you all very soon. Thanks for hanging out. Bye for now.